Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Tasha Jackson, host of Naturally Inspired. I'm here with Jessica Chandler today, and it has been quite a while since we have brought you a video. And so we are very pleased to be able to be here today to bring you the latest travel trends and safe sanitizing, especially before a lot of people go back to work and as students are on their way back to school. And so we're going to hit the news first and give you a brief update. Here we have family-focused voyagers overtake business travel. So for the first time in history, Airbnb reports that families have more power than businesses. And you can also hear and see that in some of the news broadcasts that are out there today. I've been hearing the same thing in the news. After being stuck indoors for more than a year, family and friends groups are booking travel. I just returned from the Grand Canyon with my daughter 2 days ago. So we are definitely seeing an increase of travel. Travel analysis of 10,000 people from 5 countries indicates that long-term residential rental bookings are the new normal. And now is the time to put everything we learned from the World Health Crisis into play. And so why is that important? And so the research from Good Housekeeping, the latest research shows new strains of SARS-CoV-2 are emerging. So the Delta variant, and I've heard a couple of other variants that are arising in different parts of the world. And scientists are worried that these strains may mutate further. Continuing to practice preventative measures to avoid getting sick twice is the advice. And according to the CDC, the variants that have been identified recently seem to spread more easily. They're more transmissible. And so today we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can continue to protect yourself with these new variants. Please make sure that you review all of our latest videos or all of our previous videos, especially our Ask the Doctor series that would include how to take care of your skin, because skin is an incredible important component in keeping yourself safe from the virus. Also, we've talked about immune boost naturally, as well as using the PPE and what that spells for and then how this plays into the new variants. There's more research that shows that SARS-CoV-2, aka coronavirus COVID-19, lives on paper for 3 hours, copper for 4 hours, cardboard for 24 hours, money for 4 days. So that's why a lot of places are still not accepting any cash. Glass for 4 days, plastic and metal for 3 to 7 days, and fabric and soft porous surfaces for 2 weeks, and then hard non-porous surfaces for 28 days. With mutating viruses, variations of this virus, please take this information very seriously. Even if the risk is rare for you. So if you are still working from home, you still go out into public very minimally. I know I'm doing that. There's still risk, and so you still need to make sure that you're covered. Please share this video with loved ones. Share some of our previous video with your loved ones. And as we restore our lives and resume traveling, again, please keep these tips in mind that we're going to share with you today. And so we have our lovely Jessica Chandler back. As you all know, we have been working together since the beginning on this initiative to bring you the very best in research and education on different products to use for sanitizing safely. And in addition to all of industry research and again, the Ask the Doctor series and also product information. And so she is a 24-year autoimmune research, diagnostics, and sales industry executive and a spokesperson for Sanitizing Safety. And I would like to welcome her now. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Tasha. It is always a pleasure to be joining you. Thank you so much for having me, being a part of all of this.
So we just shared the news kind of since we last made a video. Of course, there's much more to share. You can go to sanitizingsafety.com and you can look at all of the research articles. The website is updated regularly. And so you can find all of the things that we're speaking about today, plus more there. And so as we strive to return to some sense of normalcy or find a new normal, we're going to be shedding light on how to be safe while traveling. And so, Jessica, businesses are reopening worldwide. Travelers are hitting the road. Whenever I went to the Grand Canyon, although numbers were down, there were still worldwide travelers there because, as you know, the
Mm-hmm.
Grand Canyon, you know, entices millions from around the world every year. And so, me living in Arizona, I get there, I get to visit there quite often. And again, I saw a marked difference in attendance from previous years. But again, people are still traveling from all over the country and all over the world to visit some of these heritage sites. And so, we're going to discuss new data in regards to travel trends, SARS-CoV-2, the lifespan, especially on your clothes, back to school safety, and tips for safety, how to safely balance lifestyle, health, and safety. Because you'll still see some people that are doing certain things, maybe some kind of rituals that they have picked up that either were effective during that time and may no longer be effective, or were not really effective in the first place. And so we're going to be talking about some of those things in addition to the safe sanitizing safely. So I'm sure that you've seen news reports reporting that SARS-CoV-2 variant from Brazil that appeared in Minnesota and a strain variant from South Africa that appeared in South Carolina, then days later in Maryland. As the world reopens, Jessica, what is your advice?
Oh, well, I mean, it's been one of those kind of interesting things. I love to travel, and I've actually traveled the world. I have family and I have friends, they like to travel as well. And I'm sure you also, and everybody who is listening to this and watching this, they have them as well. People are willing to flock to various remote destinations. They like to go to beach towns or going to amusement parks. Everybody is very eager to head back to what used to be normal for us. Uh, and yet, there is the SARS-2 and the variants that is coming along that we're finding here and there. They are airborne. However, there is also the aspect with them that they are found in your mucous membranes. So you can find them in saliva as well as when you sneeze and what comes out of your nose, which is why we are taking precautions. Uh, these, the virus, not just this, however, you also have your regular coronaviruses, which is the cause for your common cold. And then you have the variants on that, which is also SARS-1. And you also have what used to be in our lives, which is the flu, which we have heard nothing of anymore now that we have the whole corona thing going on. And miraculously, the flu has disappeared. But these viruses and the various bacteria, they can actually be on all sorts of different surfaces, from glass to, you have your mobile phone. You can find it on the screens of your mobile phone. You can find it on the exteriors of it. All of our various mobile devices, laptops, televisions, clothes, furniture, books, money, all of that. You kind of mentioned that a little bit before. Pretty much on anything and everything that is in our environment. And the thing is, it will continue to be a part of existence as long as people and this planet is around. They're going to be here. They're here to stay. They have been with us from day one, actually before we showed up, and they will continue to be a part of the environment on this planet until we're all gone as well. So I know traveling can be stressful, especially with getting ready and all of that. However, without adding another layer of sanitizing safety on top of it, it's we're going to take that to the next level, and we're about promoting a more relaxed lifestyle. And one of that things is we recommend ditching the alcohol-based hand sanitizers and various alcohol-based wipes for what is a new bath and body wipe. Tasha, I know you said you have some of them,
I do.
and I also use them as well. I have a container. I don't have it with me right at the moment because I actually lent it out to somebody for them to actually try the product, and they're using it right now. However, these wipes, they last 4 hours per application, which is considerably different than the alcohol-based hand sanitizers that last for 20 seconds or less. It depends on how fast it dries. An alcohol-based sanitizer is only effective as long as it is in its wet liquid state. As soon as it dries, that's it, done. So these others, the the um, the BZK based product that we have, it lasts 4 hours. So on that note, which one do you want to have for your sanitizing safety, right? And with that, on that note, sanitizing safety is all about knowing which active ingredients are actually safe, effective, and suitable for people of all ages, not just the adults, but the kids. And that's really, really important. So it makes for a more enjoyable vacation as well when you're not having to worry about these um, these alcohol-based products that are drying out your skin and doing all sorts of other things and are actually toxic to the body. So to maximize your time outdoors and indoors with safe products that are tested and proven to be long lasting and effective on harmful germs, it's really important.
And so I just want to kind of take viewers back. We did a video about the science of sanitizing safety, which covers the science of these products that we have here. And so here is the wipe that we were just discussing here. And, I've had the pleasure of being able to not only use these products, but also incorporate these products into my daily life. And so, again, if you are interested in learning about the science behind this product and why it is effective, please make sure that you go back and watch that video. And then there are a couple of others where we incorporate the science as well. But Jessica, you raise a great point about the alcohol's effectiveness period of 20 seconds per application. Um, you know, Again, we have produced many videos before this one. So if you have not seen them, please do go back and look through and see those videos. And so we're talking about, and I have a hard time saying it's quaternary ammonium compounds are also known as quats or quacs, which are QAC. It's an organic salt. The science community supports quacs for its natural ability to kill SARS-CoV-2 and a wide range of harmful germs, including coronavirus. The only quack that has been approved by the FDA for hand sanitizers is known as BZK, and it is alcohol-free. And so again, in one of our previous videos, we had spoken about the importance of what does alcohol do to the skin, how it kind of destroys the skin mantle and the oil, and so that causes dry skin, cracking, and then that's whenever you can have disease transmission through those cuts inside of your skin, and why this product, of course, is going to be a phenomenal alternative to that because it does not have a drying effects. You can see that more information on naturally inspired media productions on Facebook. It is community inspired and also Awake, Healthy, Informed and sanitizingsafety.com. We've tried to put this information out as much as we can. Make sure that you go to those locations, find videos, share them with people. There's also a magazine, so I will put the magazine in the description box, the link to it, so you can click on it as well. That will give you more information as far as the science and what it is that we're trying to do to promote the safety and efficacy of this product. And the latest Airbnb travel study explains that friends and family groups known as family-focused voyagers have overtaken business and travel, are the #1 catalyst to restoring the travel industry. Groups are heading out for time in the great outdoors and are booking long-term residential stays in coastal cities near theme parks and national parks. So again, I travel back and forth to San Diego. I'm not a theme park person. I don't necessarily like that. I'm more of a national park girl. So, you know, I throughout this entire time have been doing that with, of course, these products in tow, because I not necessarily refuse to use hand sanitizer that has alcohol based, but definitely want to reduce my use significantly. And so, Jessica, what advice do you give property owners, property managers, and family and friend groups with long-term residential reservations?
Well, I do have an extensive background in real estate, and my advice for sanitizing rentals is clean the glass often. And you can even clean your surfaces as well if you'd like to. So with the glass cleaning, consider a window cleaning service. It's the fastest, easiest way to do it, keeps everything um, maintained. And you can also make sure that they use some sort of sanitizing product as well. Or you can even acquire these products and have them utilize them. Another thing is you can also clean and sanitize properties on a monthly basis with an electrostatic spray service that uses a QAC or a quark based product. So there's no ammonia, no bleach. It doesn't damage any of the fabrics. It doesn't damage any of the furniture. It's safe on all surfaces. I use it in the house. I have everything from fabrics to marble, granite, antiques, various delicate pieces of furniture and fabrics that could be easily damaged. You can put it on leather as well too. It works everywhere, which is really, really cool. And then for listings, what's really kind of fascinating is in San Diego, the San Diego Association of Realtors promotes QAC or QAC based sanitizing for safe property showings. And this is kind of really fascinating because the largest industry membership group of about 20,000 is quite what an example of restoring an industry with safe sanitizing plan to protect members, right, and their clients by utilizing these materials, these services. So another thing, and then you have the benefits as well of like what it also does to your skin, as we're talking about, because it doesn't have any alcohol to dry it out or to create a toxic environment, because alcohol actually does create a toxic environment, and it is very toxic when you keep utilizing it on your skin as well. So with the short-term rentals and the long-term rentals, Airbnbs as well, between the reservations and stuff, you can schedule the glass cleanings, you can schedule your electrostatic spray services. It only takes like 10-15 minutes to cover a 2,500 square foot space, right? That's a pretty large house. And usually a lot of the Airbnbs, unless you have them renting out, a full house or even just a room, it should be fairly quick. And one of the cool things is you can, as one of the Airbnb rentals, or even if you're doing it yourself, you can have in your handbook, in your property handbook, you can actually add specific instructions and the non-toxic products to be utilized. So you can provide them to your guests, and you can include it in the handbook on actually how to use everything as well, should they choose to keep wiping all the surfaces down while they are there. So it's kind of like one of those cool things, like a win-win, right? So, you know, as somebody who would be utilizing an Airbnb service, short-term rentals or even long-term rentals in that pack, is, you know, to stock up on these types of materials, on these QACs, surface wipes and sprays, especially for high traffic and high touch areas like doorknobs, which is always, you know, touchy, right? So one of the cool things is QAC's caulks are anti-static. So sanitizing products formulated with caulks are safe to use on things like phones, remote controls, touchpads, computers, tablets, appliances like, you know, the refrigerator door handle or freezer door handles, um, you know, things like that. And another one is the one of the germiest places that you can use it on, and this is where it becomes really cool because it lasts so long, is the refrigerator storage bins. Not everybody always cleans those out, and they should be cleaned out, and you can use these wipes in them as well. So it's fantastic opportunity and alternative to having to poison yourself with toxic cleaners or alcohol-based cleaners, or some of the, I don't even need to get into the listing of all the chemicals that are in some of these things, but they are just not good. And for those of you who would love to have some more information about the research that is ongoing and that we have done, please head on over to sanitizingsafety.com. There is a plethora of data and research there available.
And so, after researching fabric sanitizers, what data points can you share with our viewers?
Oh man, well, the with the fabric softeners and stuff like that, what we're finding out is the research is showing that it's airborne, that it is able to live up to 2 weeks on washable fabrics. And this is where it gets a little bit tricky, because what's happening is, and I have to cover this point, there is a lot of information that is out there that it is living on it. However, please realize that it is also not necessarily a live virus anymore for that long. However, it is detectable. Big difference between the two. Just because you can run a test and you can detect that it is there, that does not mean it is still active and alive. So that is a crucial aspect as well to note. Uh, However, they are also finding that it is still detectable on surfaces for up to 28 days and for several days on glass. So with the fabric stuff, it is, it's really one of those key points, because you can actually utilize I don't necessarily want to call it a fabric softener, but it actually softens your fabric, and it actually removes the static cling, so you don't need to add any of that other yucky stuff in there. It does it all naturally because it is using the QAC, the quaternary ammonium compounds. And it is sanitizing all the fabrics. So you've got your sheets, you've got your towels, all the various linens and things that are being utilized. You can spray the stuff onto or wipe down your hampers and the laundry baskets and all of the other surfaces that are being touched and utilized by your guests. And the thing is, you know, the fabric compound it's actually able to sanitize for quite an extended period of time. So even though you are, say you have just an overnight guest and you wash everything again, you have this extended ongoing protection that is happening with utilizing these products. So be sure to read the fine print on all product labels and websites that you visit. One of the things that we have discovered is many are they're kind of deceiving with exactly what the product sanitizes. Is it a bacteria? Is it a virus? Is it SARS-2? Is it SARS-1? So remember, products that are made with QACs, clocks, address SARS-2 only, while others do not. And not just only SARS-2, but it addresses the SARS-2 in addition to all of the other ones as well.
And that's a great point that you made about washable fabric. So a lot of people they use Clorox or they're using bleach. And it's a chemical that's often used to sanitize. But what people really don't understand is how damaging and corrosive it can be. Just 2 weeks ago, and this was before I knew better. As a new homeowner, I bought those little um, cakes that you put inside the toilet because here in Arizona we have a lot of mold and a lot of things you inside of the toilet and things like that, and I can't keep up with it. So I bought one of those little cakes and then I just used maybe two or three, and in that time it corroded all of the inside of the toilet. So last week I had to have a plumber come and replace all of those parts. And so um, a lot of products that we purchase to either help or again to fight viruses are not effective in all areas because of their damaging, toxic, corrosive nature. And so we want viewers to understand that especially scented bleach is not effective for sanitizing. Laundry is done at home and industrially. So again, whenever you guys are going to hotels or traveling around, all of those things are being washed and in a toxic corrosive material that you're then sleeping in or touching or what have you. Some people are taking their own sheets and blankets that they're using. And so businesses like hotels and food services must be vigilant with laundered towels, sheets, cloth napkins, uniforms, and more. And, again, doing the research and using the products myself, this laundry shield, it does not have any scent. So people that are worried about scents and dyes, so if you're especially sensitive to scents and dyes, doesn't have scents and dyes. My clothes, after I washed and dried them, I smelled to see like, is there, because sometimes like if you have your kids washing clothes, they're not really that clean or they forget to put soap or whatever, what is the after smell? And there is no after smell from washing. I was really shocked about how well the static portion of it works. I use laundry balls in my dryer instead of dryer sheets to help the environment. And with this, you don't need any of that. So I tested it out and just to see if there's going to be any remnants of static electricity, and there's not. And so you're even saving the environment there where it reduces or eliminates the static electricity, so you don't even have to use laundry balls anymore. So again, it's really important that you guys are doing your research whenever it comes to how you're not only cleaning but also sanitizing sanitizing all of the things that you're using, especially if maybe you're in the health profession, right, where you're in contact with many different types of sick people. This would work great for those purposes. And so the reason why I would choose this laundry sanitizer is because it lasts for 28 days of protection for harmful germs. I have small kids, and for now my children are going into second grade and fourth grade, and they're going to be exposed to all kinds of things at school. So I don't necessarily just want to. I'm not worried about COVID only, I'm worried about all kinds of flus, including the stomach flu or any other kinds of viruses. Having been a teacher, I've had all kinds of diseases that that I've never heard of before. And so I can feel more safe sending my kids back to school, having used this product, knowing that there are multiple ways for them to fight those germs and viruses just from their clothes, and not just the practices, or not only the practices that they're being taught in school to do, which is would be frequent hand washing. And so again, it has natural detergent properties. It's a great fabrics. It's a great fabric softener. You get that anti-static treatment. Um, it says on here that there is a fresh citrus, but I couldn't smell it, and I have a pretty strong nose. So again, if for those of you that are really sensitive to smells or scents, this you would not have a problem with this. And then dryer heat doesn't affect the product. And then it, of course, we've talked about it being eco-friendly, non-toxic, and especially non-flammable. Living in Arizona, my laundry closet is outside of my townhouse and it gets really hot in there. And so I cannot put any flammable materials inside of my laundry closet because temperatures inside of that thing can reach 120, 130 degrees easy.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, it gets pretty hot in there. And so I usually don't do laundry during the day. And so putting a product like this in there, heat would not affect it, which is incredibly important for me and other people that are living in high heat areas. And so now we're going to switch topics and kind of talk about back to school time, because as an educator for over 10 years. Of course, that's something that is near and dear to my heart. And again, I have school age children. And so, as we know, alcohol free, bleach free, chlorine free, and non toxic quacks now led the EPA's list of products for restoring businesses and institutions, schools included. And so, last year, I had a couple of my friends that were trying to purchase some product, and the schools were not allowing it in because it was not on the EPA list. And so now it is. And so it's incredibly important that even for these types of sprays, that you can send your kids with these. And I heard that they're going to start producing a carabiner full of this. I give this to my kids to take to school because I don't want them using the alcohol sanitizer. My kids are prone to hand wounds. My son plays in the sand at school, so he may get little cuts. Paper cuts are all too common. And so whenever they're using the hand sanitizer, it's drying out the hands, and then they get wounds on top of that. Again, that's whenever you can have the transmission of viruses into your bloodstream from those cuts on your hands. So again, non-alcohol isn't going to burn your hands, which is another reason why my kids love it, so that whenever they have cuts on their hands, they use this, and then it doesn't burn. Then they're not screaming, because they're using it. And so, I feel confident that my kids are not, being loaded full of alcohol also at school. And so,
Absolutely. I
yeah,
mean, and that's something to consider as well, Tasha. I mean, the skin is the body's largest organ, and it absorbs the alcohol straight on in.
yeah,
And you're
and
yeah.
and so, it's not just about just the outside of the body, it's the inside of the body as well, right? So, like Jessica was saying, that the alcohol soaks in through the skin, gets in through the liver, and still can cause a child to be inebriated, and you don't want your child to not focus, or essentially your child to be drunk at school. And so, we've spoken many times about incidental ingestion, accidental ingestion, especially on school campuses. And so again, this product is a much safer alternative. And I highly recommend that PTOs and PTAs, districts really start to move towards this product, because the chemicals that they're utilizing in the school are even more harsh than what we would have in a home. And so again, reach out to your school officials to see if you can make the change, and get your school sanitized with these products instead. And let's see, I can't stress enough how important it is to take the advice that Jessica gave, and then in scheduling. Again, there are different places inside of the school that could be affected. For example, the science lab. So, there's static electricity all over, and if you're in high school, lighting the flame can cause an explosion. So again, having those surfaces cleaned with a flammable material is dangerous. And so again, if you move into, especially with these type of wipes, move into sanitizing the surfaces with a non-flammable material, then there's only more safety from there. And so we have up here the mechanism of action. So how does it actually work? And so again, you can look at the research that we have already provided for you, the videos that we have already provided. And then Jessica, do you have any final thoughts?
Oh, well, I mean, we have actually learned so much about safe sanitizing in the past year with this whole coronavirus, and with the freedom to travel. uh, you know, Remain vigilant with your personal safety. Be sure to read the fine print on all products. Know which products, create no harm to the users, especially with our children. Also, educate yourself on which products enhance or detract from the lifestyle that you would like to have. Know which products are more effective based on research as well. Don't just look at the hype or hear the hype and look at a pretty label. Educate yourself. Life is precious. And most importantly, be sure to go outside and enjoy it. The best thing of all is the sunshine.
And so in closing, I just want to share the Poison Help Hotline. That phone number is 1-800-222-1222. So if someone has accidentally or intentionally ingested any kind of alcohol-based sanitizers or any other products, and they're not breathing or they're showing shortness of breath, make sure that you call that phone number again. The Poison Helpline is 1-800-222-1222. And thank you so much for joining us today. It is clear that safe sanitizing is here to stay. And again, as Jessica said, we have to remain vigilant with all of the new strains for our personal safety. And for any enterprising individuals, the next sanitizing safety broadcast topic is going to be how to start a safe sanitizing business. It's much easier than you think because, again, as employees go back, we have to think about these things because that's one of the issues that I guess is coming up in the news is that businesses or employees are worried about how businesses or what steps businesses are taking to keep them safe. And so we're going to have that discussion. It's our duty as a global community to apply what we've learned during the World Health Crisis, to share the information, protect lives. Safety, again, especially in these times, is of utmost importance. And please share the information with families and businesses and institutions that are reopening as kids go back to school. We look forward to sharing more and additional information with you, including research data with our viewers. And, as we get back to enjoying life indoors and outdoors, and as we create a new normal that includes a more safe, more healthier lifestyle, including how we're going to protect ourselves personally with these products that we have available to us now. So until next time, I'm your host, Tasha Jackson, with Naturally Inspired Media and Awake Healthy Informed.